What's going on, everybody? My name is Reginald Titus Jr. I'm the executive director for Grind Over Matter Foundation. Today, we're going to be talking about Own the Room. Turn your confidence into modeling contracts with Ace Diosa. But first, let me quickly talk about our mission. Our mission at Grind Over Matter Foundation is about having representation in front of and behind the camera. We support that mission by having programs like this where we have virtual workshops where we talk to people that are actually in the industries and their professions. Also, another one of our programs is our drone pilot scholarship program, where if you're interested in becoming a drone pilot and getting licensed, reach out to us and we help you with that process. Also, whenever we're producing like our own projects and everything like that, we invite you on so you can get that experience in the industry. But before we go further into that, let me talk about Ace Diosa. Okay, so y'all join me in welcoming Ace Diosa. She's a model, actress, a creative leader that's dedicated to empowering artists through confidence, authenticity, and growth. As a founder of Struck by Ace and a host of the Unretouched podcast, she's helped countless creators refine their presence and step fully into who they are. Today, she's here to share the same energy and insight with us. Welcome.
Thank you. I love that intro.
That's the
Okay.
work you've been putting in, right? That's the work you've been putting in. So
Yes.
it is
But just
showing.
hearing it back, it sounds like, okay, I'm in my purpose.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what we do here is we get right to it because we only have an hour. So we want to get right to it and get to the gym. So what is a confidence coach and why do people need one?
So, a confidence coach is someone that helps others build confidence, right? Self belief, presence, and the ability to show up and own the room. And the reason why people need this is because sometimes people second guess themselves. They struggle with being seen on camera or in crowded rooms, or they don't know how to approach people in networking events, or just in general, they don't know how to hold a conversation because they nerves get the best of them. So, confidence coach is really just to bring your inner self out. Let it shine, let it flow, let it be seen.
Understood. From my understanding, you're a model full time, modeling, you've been in this industry. Can you talk about the career pathways um, of a model and like, kind of what are the different genres of modeling?
Yes. So, first and foremost, runway. That is that's what I wanted to be when I got into modeling. I wanted to do the runway,
Right.
but in order to make that as a career and actually get paid and live off a runway, you have to be a certain height, you have to be a certain size, and that's a little bit more difficult, right? But it's a good way to get in the industry doing local shows as fashion shows, and we don't really call it runway. We call it fashion shows or fashion showcases, and that is a good way to network and be seen. Now, if you're looking at it as a career standpoint and not just a hobby or for fun, you want to go more into print and commercial because that's where the money is. And with that, print is more so like magazines, ads, things of that nature. And of course, commercial is you can do like commercial ads or actual commercials that's broadcasted on television. So those are the main two.
What what if somebody was to approach it, realistically and they wanted to like be real professional about it, what does that look like? Somebody that does it for a living versus like somebody that's doing it as a hobby, and kind of getting gigs like here and there. What does that look like from a person that's being a professional versus like kind of like a gig worker that's doing it every now and then?
Not knowing the business, getting with an agency, um, and being on top of everything that you need to be on top of, like headshots. You need to renew your headshots every 6 months. Your digitals, if you plan on being a print model, having your sizes correct, comp cards. And each time you gain a pound or lose a pound, you need to change that on your comp card because when you send that out, they go by the size. So they expect you to show up as you're presenting yourself.
Comp card. Can you talk about that? You know,
So a
you
comp card is just a one sheeter of different photos. It could be some of your portfolio work, meaning professional photo shoots that you did, creative, beauty, um, advertisement, anything like that, depending on what you're actually trying to cast for, you want to showcase yourself in that light the best way possible. So it's normally like a headshot, a three-quarter, a full body, front and back, and your sizes, meaning like your waist size in inches, not just small, medium, large. You know, you have to really measure yourself and have the accurate measurements in order to get booked. And they expect you to show up that way.
um, s- so what? So what this will be considered? Is this like for the print and commercial work? They need that comp card.
Yes, and even for runway, they expect you when you show up to a casting call, they expect you to have your comp card with you as well.
Interesting. Are there like what are examples of people that don't get this right?
Oh, if you see an ad, if you're going to a casting call from something that you've seen online or social media, you want to read everything in full because you don't want to show up unprepared. That will automatically disqualify you and then you waste your time. And also, you just want to know how to show up because sometimes they'll say all black or sometimes they'll say, a t-shirt and jeans. You never know what the casting directors are looking for, so make sure you read everything and show up correctly because it makes a big difference. It shows that you know how to listen, and that's a big thing in this industry as well. Learning how to take direction, listening, and showing up and being prepared.
What has it been where hey they somebody looks like totally different than what
Yes.
they thought they saw on the card?
Yes.
So what happens in a
I've
situation like that?
experienced that personally in the beginning of my career, and that's why I stress it so hard. Like my teachings come from experience and also knowledge of other things. So that is more so of experience. I showed up. I had my natural cut, and that's what I did. My headshots and my comp cards and all of that. And then I decided to get braids. And I sent my comp card when I had my shortcut, and they called me a month later, and I had braids, and I showed up with braids, and they're like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's me. I'm right. It's me with braids." They're like, sorry, no." And I was like, "Oh, like that's for real. That's a real thing." So now I just show up, and I tell people to show up as you're presenting yourself. If you send a headshot, make sure your hair is the same way when you go in for that booking or anything.
With the reason our mission statement is about having representation in front of the camera and behind the camera.
Mhm.
Um, we do like a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but for in front of the camera, what's the representation for you in this industry? What does that look like?
Um, can you rephrase the question?
Yeah, yeah. So like other women as yourself, do you see other people that look like you in the space? Are you being represented like on like from the professional side? Is there enough of us, enough of you in the industry to kind of go around?
Uh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, really? Really?
It's definitely enough of us to go around,
Okay.
but
Okay.
in a sense of this industry I'm in is very it's competition, you know. So everybody has to have their own unique look, and sometimes you show up looking like other people. I'm not gonna lie, and that goes for like hair and things of that nature. So that's why I press the issue for just show up with your natural hair. That's what they really love because that is what makes you stand out as well. And not only that, the way you walk into that room, your energy, they can feel the energy and all of that. So that's why I say just be authentically you, no matter what that looks like, because you never know that will make you go further than trying to be like someone else.
That's kind of interesting because when we were working on our documentaries, the feature film was kind of talking about natural hair, and one of the casting directors we talked to, she was talking about how that's what they were looking for. And at one point in time, you would see women with natural hair like all over the place, like, all the commercials, everything. I was like, wow, it's
Mhm.
starting to get popular now.
Yes.
'Cause one of the things that they were complaining about is that like the hairdressers, like they didn't know how to do their hair and stuff like that, so they had to
That's
bring.
the thing, yes,
Mhm.
especially runway, and that's why I tell my clients that come to my strut classes for the model walks that when you show up to those fashion shows behind the scenes, sometimes that makeup artist don't have your shade. Bring your, concealer and all of that. Bring your items. That way you can nicely say in a professional way, because you don't want to offend anybody, in their work. So you just say, hey, I have my shades. If it's okay for you to use these, and then they can use your shades so you can match, and you won't, well, our skin color, you won't be ashy looking, because sometimes they only know how to work on lighter skinned people. So we kind of get the backhand of that sometimes, and it's still to this day. And even with our hair, like sometimes they will burn it because the heat is too hot, or they're messing up our curl pattern. And when we wet our hair again, now we have like straight strands because they didn't straighten it properly or use the right utensils or products. So that is a big thing for sure.
Do you think maybe from are we being underrepresented in the makeup and hair department?
I believe so. As a whole, yes. But I feel like I don't, because I have that team behind me. So that's a good thing, to have a team, an agency, or whomever behind you or with you in those settings that actually work with you day in and day out. Especially when you're super booked and busy, you don't want everyone doing your hair. I know me. I was raised in a way, and I know I'm stuck in my ways, but I was raised in a way you don't let everyone in your head.
That's
So
real.
I kind
Yeah.
of stand by that. Like,
Yeah.
and I know everybody don't have the budget for a hairdresser, a makeup artist, and things of that nature. And that's why I just push the issue of learn how to do your own makeup first. Second, bring your makeup with you if someone else is doing your makeup, for sure.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Can you talk about how you crossed over into acting? Because when we were talking earlier, you had mentioned that acting classes actually helped your modeling career.
Yes, I was not interested in being an actress at first. um, but I realized when I was doing high fashion, I did a lot of high fashion. So high fashion is very straight face, no emotion. Well, it's emotion, but it's not like sadness or happiness. It's more so of like a strong structure that they want. And I was so used to doing that for years that when I, bled over into commercial, now they want, oh, look sad. I'm like, how do I look sad without being sad? They're like, be happy, but I felt cringy, like smiling, and I'm like, that's not my natural smile, but they want to like a big, big smile. And I'm like, okay, how can I make myself laugh for this smile? So I was like, I need to take a class because this is not working. And that's when I enrolled in acting classes with I Got Tape Studios. And I did that for about a month and a half, 2 months. And I just learned how to use your facial expressions better in acting, but I use that for modeling. But as I was in those classes, I actually liked it. So I was like, let me go to a casting for this role, and I ended up getting the main role. So you never know what this industry is gonna do. That's why I'm like, I'm
Wow.
always a student, willing to learn, because acting and modeling go hand in hand in a way, and I
Right.
realized that at that moment.
Hmm. It made
Hmm.
me think about I don't know. Did Megan Good? Did she start out as a model, like a kid model or something like that, before she got her first role? I'm
Yes.
not. It okay. That
Hmm.
makes sense. I started kind of going back through certain movies, and I'll see like certain individuals like this person's like extremely pretty for this role, and
Yeah.
then turns out like they were like
A
trying to be a
model.
model. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Okay. Can you talk a little bit more about modeling etiquette and how what does that mean?
Hmm. So, model etiquette just means how you present yourself, how you carry yourself behind the stage and in front of the camera. So, when I teach model etiquette to my clients, I teach the do's and don'ts behind the stage. Or behind the scenes of any set. It can be a runway set, it can be a movie set, no matter what, right? Because a lot of people, they get caught up into the gossip, and that's not a good thing. So that's a big no. Um, and also, when they walk into the room, they're so shy sometimes they don't speak to everyone. You need to speak to everyone, at least a hello when you walk into a room.
Hmm.
And a lot of people don't know that. And it's like, okay, let me put this in the course. So what's common sense to us and how we learned and things of that nature, some things just come secondhand, but a lot of people wasn't brought up that way or wasn't taught that. So I put that in the curriculum for sure because it's
And is that
necessary.
like um you had mentioned oh, you said gossip, right? So like
Yes.
is it like just kind of is that like the gossip of what's going on set or
On
what
set, offset, in the industry, you never know who is
uh
who.
okay.
So you have writers, directors, and producers as actors sometimes. So they may be in that acting room, but you don't know, like, that's really a director on a different set. So them hearing how you're gossiping about either another set you were on or the set you're on, especially the set you're on, you might go home. You might lose that
Right.
opportunity because you don't know how to control the conversation. Because a lot of people feel like they have to, what do you call that? Engage in every conversation that comes their way. You do not.
Mhm.
It's polite to speak, and if someone wants to vent to you about something, I'm the type, I'll listen, but I'm not going to respond to you. And if I do respond, it's going to be something positive to navigate that conversation into something else, because I don't want to hear that on set. I'm here to work.
That's real.
Hmm.
I never thought about that because you I was on a set and this young lady, she got fired, and it was really attitude, it was just really
Yeah.
attitude, rubbing people the wrong way. And it's
Hmm.
kind of sad because you want to like tell people like, hey man, you probably shouldn't do that, but
Yeah.
you got your own job to do on set,
Hmm.
versus like kind of like these soft skills. So I think it's that's real important because I didn't think about that because I direct and produce, but I've been on other people's projects in the
Hmm.
capacity of like being a DIT, and so it gives me like an opportunity to see other people and how they act.
Yes, because you never know who's in that room. And I say that all the time. You never know who's in the room. And maybe your next opportunity can be in that room. So you want to show up with a good attitude. I don't care how bad your morning started. You show up like you had the best day ever, and you're going to continue to have it.
Wow.
And that's about confidence. Like,
Yeah.
you have to put your personal life to the side of how you're feeling to show up and be who you need to be in that moment to continue that job.
That's I think that alone is very important because sometimes I'll just say I'll just speak for like the culture, our
Hmm.
culture in America, and then our culture of being black. Sometimes we feel like we have to, like be real about everything. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And sometimes, like you're saying, they can probably get in the way of professionalism because you might feel like that's being fake, when actuality, you're just being professional. You're trying to get through
Yeah.
the day and do your job.
Yes, and you're right. It's a line. It may be a thin line, but it's a line where you can be professional, but also be real.
Yeah.
So I would say I'm that way. I'm that way. Every time I show up on set, sometimes I see people that I know um, from different sets, and they want to talk about the last project. I don't want to talk about that right now. We're not there. Let's talk when we wrap up, because
Hmm.
you never want to slow down someone else's vision or process of making that vision come to life if you're supposed to be a part of it. You need to be focused on where you're at and what you're doing there.
Man, that is that is real. Yep, absolutely. All right, so you help people get agency work. What does that look like? And then is it lucrative? Can it make money doing this? And kind of like show like some case studies of this.
Yeah, so I help people get agency work, meaning I develop them in a way to where they're prepared to be a part of an agency. A lot of people think, oh, I can just go straight to an agency, and then they're complaining that the agency isn't a good agency, when really the agency is a good agency. You're not showing up prepared because you don't know how to be prepared. So going straight to the agency sometimes for certain people isn't a good thing, because you need to know that model etiquette. Because if that agency sending you off to a job and you get fired, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be in trouble with your agency, because they're finding you that work. It's their name on the line, their agency, their reputation. So you need to know how to show up. And a lot of people don't know how to show up. They show up late. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a victim of that sometimes. But you need to know time management and things of that nature when working with an agency, because now you're making other people look bad. You can make yourself look bad all day. Nobody's gonna care,
Right.
and you're
Right.
gonna feel that, and you're gonna get it right by yourself. But when it comes to an actual agency and people that are standing behind you, that can be a big problem, because then other agencies won't want to work with you because you'll be deemed hard to work with, and that's hard to kind of
Wow.
overcome once you're deemed that.
We've heard that term, right? In Hollywood, when they put that label on somebody, it's almost like they've been blackballed in a way.
Yeah, for sure. And that's real life. Like, it happens all the time. Showing up with a bad attitude, showing up late, bad communication, because things happen, lives. So if you're going to be a little bit late, you should know you're going to be a little bit late before the time comes. So just communication is the key in this industry. Um, Listening skills, knowing how to take direction, not being stuck in your ways, because honestly, I struggled with that in the beginning. I'm like, oh, I like my hair this way. I don't like it like that. But that way is cause for that vision to come to life. It's not about you. It's about them. They booked you. They're paying you. So you need to become what they are envisioning. And that's what make a good model or actress at that.
Wow. Um, you mentioned like these lessons that apply in real life. Can you
Mhm.
dive into focus and how you help people focus? And is that like kind of like an issue in today? I would assume it's a issue in today's society with
Most
focusing.
definitely. And that's another thing. Going to a casting call, do not be on your phone. We don't want to see the top of your head. Like, they don't want to see that. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
They don't want to see that.
Hmm.
And it's like, you have to lock in and focus. And that's what I teach. When you're on that runway, it's a lot of noise going on. The music, the people clapping, the people that know you screaming your name and saying how your outfit is cute and you rocking the runway and all of that. You have to block that out. You have to be focused on what you're doing. Can y'all take her out, please? And yeah, so I teach that as well. You have to focus. So in real life, when a lot of things are going on, how do you lock in on whatever project you're doing, whether it's homework, whether it's applying for jobs, whatever it is that you're doing, you need to know how to lock in and not be distracted, because distraction will slow your process down.
Wow. With this, so you were saying like the phones, is that like a big deal? And has that cost people jobs? Having that phone. Because to me,
Mm,
sometimes I put my phone away if I'm on set.
mm,
Like I'm just gonna be unreachable for 6 hours or whatever. But
mm.
what have you seen?
Um, it's it's both, because I would say not the phone necessarily made someone lose their job, but I was on set, and because they were in their phone, they weren't listening, and that is what made them lose their job. So, or that
Oh,
gig at that point.
wow. Okay.
Hmm. That's why, like, you're distracted. You're in your phone. So if someone is saying something, you're not. You got to say, "Huh." Nobody wants to repeat themselves on set. You there for a reason. You need to be listening. You need to be attentive. Or they think that you're not taking it serious, and it's a lot of other people that want that spot, so they don't need you.
Wow. I did. You know what? And certain sets are like really strict about cell phone usage.
Hmm.
Because like certain films or television I've seen where they don't want the even even though like the show's not coming out for like another year or something like that, they
Hmm.
don't want plot points and things like that to be exposed or people just to know where they're at.
Most
uh
definitely.
and they've communicated at the be if anybody pulls out their phone, y'all are fired today.
Hmm.
I'm glad they do that because to me it gets annoying in a way when everybody
Yes.
has a phone, especially when you have professional photographers that are doing BTS stuff.
Hmm.
Um, who's like your persons that come to the class? Can all genders,
Most
benefit from this?
definitely.
So,
All
and age
genders,
groups.
all
Kind of talk about the age
ages.
groups and all that. Let us know.
Yes, all genders, all ages. Um, Most definitely. I don't care. If you feel like this class will help you, come. I'm open to all. I've taught someone as young as 8 to as old as 43. So everybody needs that confidence, honestly, if they feel like they're lacking it. So some people are shy. So I teach them how to command the room when they walk in.
Okay.
And it's no real end to it. Like I said, like you always have to be a student in this industry. It's always something to learn and you have to evolve. You can't just be stuck in your ways or stuck on one thing because this industry, everything kind of connects in a way, eventually. So for me, there's no end. I can't say, oh, someone graduated or whatever, but when I see that confidence and it's just eluding when they walk in, that's when I know they're ready.
Oh wow. So is that like when you talk about commanding the room, is that like the aura that people talk about? Or when you
Yes.
what is
The
it? You
aura,
gotta
the
give us some kind of sauce,
energy.
you know what I'm saying? Somebody gotta come away.
Yes.
So
Have
how
you
do they
ever
command
walked
the
in a
room?
room and everybody looking at you was like, who is that? That. Because you walked in with your head high, like you know you're that, and it's not arrogant, it's confidence. So I'm not teaching people how to be arrogant and rude or anything like that. But when you walk in, you'll feel the people will feel your energy, and then
Hmm.
boom, that smile or that hello will allow them to get to know you. And that's what I teach. And I just love it because I have so many shy people come in and then like I see them now and they're like, oh yes, and their personality is showing. And that's what I do. Like I don't teach, like I'm not a strict, I don't know what word to say. I wouldn't say strict or firm, but I don't put pressure on my clients. I
Hmm.
allow them to bring it out of themselves.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm not teaching them how to be a different way other than the way they are. But I'm just teaching them how to bring it out and to be okay with that. And to let them know you are perfect the way you are. You don't have to change because you are unique. Everyone isn't the same. That's what makes you unique. That's what needs to shine.
Absolutely. So speaking of unique, and we'll get back to the confidence part, is there room or like a space? Because when we think modeling, I'll say in general, I'll say from like a guy's standpoint, I think like somebody that's pretty, usually a woman, right?
Hmm.
What is a lane for people that have unique faces? Like say somebody that's bald headed with a bunch of tattoos, and somebody's looking for that person. Can you kind of talk about like how unique characters are needed in the industry?
They're super needed. They're needed. Okay, so everyone is looking for someone that stands out. So it can be your personality standing out, your smile, or your general look. Like you said, you can be bald, or you can have a lot of tattoos, or you can have a lazy eye, or whatever. Someone in the industry is gonna have a project that needs that, and that separates you from everyone else. So you have to step into that and know how to enhance that with your
Hmm.
personality, because even though you have that unique look, you still need that personality to go with it.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So they
Hmm.
still need some tutoring and some know-how. All right.
Yes.
So back to commanding the room. Do you get into a room and just stand in the doorway like
Like
and
dun, 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 dun.
yeah, that is
No.
that is that how you do it?
It's all about posture, your walk, having that positive energy, going in with a smile on your face. Everybody loves a pleasant person, right? So it's
Right.
like, okay, who is this person? Like they look good, they dress nice. And when I say dress nice, it's not a certain way. It's what you put on to make you feel confident. So it's what looks good to you and what feels good to you, because we'll know if you feel good or not by you walking in the room. If you walk in with your
Okay.
head down, ain't nobody gonna see you.
Wow.
Walking with your head up with a smile on your face, looking around and scanning the room, it's a big difference.
Okay. Okay. Okay, speaking of identity and confidence, um you had mentioned before like who are you question mark. When people go into your classroom, do they discover who they are as an individual and how they express that to the world?
Yes. So I had a young lady come to my class and she was from Houston, And she was like, I'm coming. Like, she really just like poured her heart out to me, and I felt it because she was raised in a way where, you don't speak up for yourself, speak when spoken to, things of that nature. So that really dimmed her light to the point where she was trying to find herself, but still in that mental space of what she has been taught.
Mm-hmm.
So with her, I'll just ask questions. We'll do like the model walk. We'll go through like model etiquette, the do's and don'ts, things of that nature, posture, and things like that. What make you feel good? What makes you feel good? And just having those conversations as well. Because I'm also a model mentor. It goes into all of this. So I really do connect with my clients, and I think that's what makes me a little bit different too. I do one-on-one classes to tailor their need, whatever that is. So building her confidence, it took a lot, but we got there. We got there. And that's what I love. She she had to just be okay with other people not being okay, if that makes sense.
Okay.
She had to stop living for other people because that's what she was doing, and she did it for so long that she forgot who she was.
Wow.
Mhm.
So like kind of like thinking, okay, I wonder what this person is thinking about me or thinking about
Yes, or if
whatever.
I wear this, even though I like it, is this person gonna be okay with this? Oh no, let me change into this, even though I don't like it or I don't feel comfortable in it. Fine, because it'll make them happy, type thing. And I'm like, no, girl, we gotta change that. We gotta change
How
that.
long did it take her to find herself?
um, so she booked a class with me like once a month, and then we did like virtual once a month, so like twice a month, one virtual, one in person. And she came for about 4 months. Hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool because I think a lot of people kind of suffer with like just from bad programming with growing up and things like that. And
most definitely. Or relationships, the insecurity,
oh,
all of
I
that.
ain't think about that. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
I have
Yeah.
a lot of different clients, some that is not even in the industry and just come for the confidence.
Wow.
Mhm.
Um, what? Oh, do you have any tips for? Because I get this too. Because I help people with like their video production and things like that, especially with them with their classes. Producing that. But the problem that I've been running into is that people are scared to get on camera, just like this, like a regular setup. You know what I mean? And just
Yes.
whether it's a phone or your laptop, whatever, they're scared. Can you please? I I need some kind of tips that I can give them to encourage them to get in front of the camera. Because you
Yes.
got to get the reps in my opinion. You got to get your reps in. and
No, for sure, for sure. So, believe it or not, I am that person. I am that person. I'm nervous to be on camera, even though I'm a model, even though I'm an actress, all of that. What allows me to be on camera and it not be noticeable is the confidence I have. You're gonna feel those nerves. I'm sure Cardi B and all of them people that perform, they have those nerves, but they show up and show out. It's because they're
yeah.
confident in what they're doing. So I would say definitely just get your confidence up. It's okay. Get out there. Once you do it more, because I had social anxiety so bad. Like, I would go into a room and be like, "Why am I here?" you know.
Yeah.
So, but I kept putting myself in those rooms, and the more you do it, the more you get used to it. It'll just be like second nature.
No, I appreciate you saying that because I'm gonna use that clip and send that to them.
Yes.
Because sometimes I think it's different coming from me, but if they can see somebody that feels that and does
Hmm.
it anyway, I think
I
it'll
was
help them out.
nervous before I got on here. You should have seen me. I'm like doing my breathing techniques and stuff, box breathing. For the people that don't know, you breathe in for 3 seconds, hold it for
Yeah.
3 seconds, and breathe out. Before you go
Okay.
on set or the runway, it works. It calms you
So
down.
the breathing exercise. What is? How does it work? So that people
It's
know what is it?
it's called box breathing. You breathe in for 3 seconds, you hold it for 3 seconds, and then you breathe out for 3 seconds.
Okay, that's some tips for y'all. If
Mhm.
anybody, if the, whoever's on the live, if you have questions, is drop it in the comment section, please.
Yes.
Okay, so we had talked a little bit about like the forceful teaching, or like What's been your experience as you when you're going to different classes and people teaching you how to become a model, and then
Mhm.
your approach in your modeling classes and
So
confidence
I
classes?
realized I've been to different um, schools or whatever you want to call them. Uh, no shade,
Right.
but one, it was online and it was through video, and they sent me like packages of information, so much information. Then I was reading through it, and then it's like, okay, this chapter, and then we're gonna do a video call. Once we got on a video call, we just really go over what I already read. It was no real teaching. So I'm like, okay, it
Wow.
seemed like a money grab. So people have to be aware of that too. Um, and then the different teaching that I experienced was we're in a classroom full of people, but it's not directly tailoring to our needs specifically. It's just a general, hey, this is what you do. Let's practice it until everybody get it, and then that's it. But in that way, it's good. It was better than the virtual thing. But I realized a lot of people that lack confidence is not gonna speak up and say, hey, stop, I don't get that part.
Hmm.
So for me, I was like, you know what? Let me go into the confidence route, because some modeling agencies or modeling schools don't really teach confidence in full.
Hmm.
They only teach what's supposed to look like confidence on the runway. And it's
Wow.
totally different. I teach what's confident in your real life. Be confident with yourself. That way, no matter what room you go into, no matter what industry or corporate place you end up in, you're going to be confident and you're going to know how to show up.
Okay. Okay. How were you introduced to modeling? And like, what age group were you in when you started, and then kind of where are you at now in your career?
I was like 16, 17. I lied. I was working at this shirt store, and a lot of people was telling my mom, you should put her in modeling and stuff like that. And a lot of people used to ask, like, you don't model, you should be a model. So when the lady came in, I didn't know she was a fashion designer, and she asked, she was like, do you model? And I was like, yes. I don't know why I lied. And she was like, well, I have a fashion show this weekend. Are you able to walk? And I was like, yes, of course. And I ran home and literally YouTube how to walk and how to stand and how to pose. And I got through that with that, you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's when I fell in love with it. That first experience of the runway and the life, I was like, oh yes, I can do this. So fast forward into now, I don't do so much runway anymore. I'm more so of like a producer, like behind the scenes, I produce shows. Um, I do more commercial and film now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
How what are your like kind of like reasons for like transitioning into doing more commercial, and what is the lifestyle like doing the runway stuff versus like kind of what you do now for people that are interested?
So runway is, mm, I would say I'm not the height. I'm only 5'4.5", 5'5". Sometimes I lie and say I'm 5'6", and it don't work. You have to be a certain height to be successful in being a paid runway model.
Okay.
So once I realized that, I'm like, okay, I have enough experience, so I don't have to keep going to these fashion shows and walking for free. I'm like, okay, let me shift into teaching the people that want to be in this industry how to be successful. And I felt like that was more so of my calling runway wise than the actual me being on the runway walking.
Mm-hmm.
And
What? Oh, go ahead.
oh, and like the difference of that and commercial and acting is, whew, the acting is you better bring some water and some snacks with you. It's long.
Yep.
It's long sis, but it's worth it. I mean, if you love the craft, you're. I mean, it's a no brainer. And I feel like when it comes to acting, whether it's film or commercial, it's kind of similar. Just commercial is a shorter day than filming, and I feel like that's more lucrative. That's more a career route than runway.
Okay, got you. And then what are the requirements for a one way? Because what height do you have to be? Like, what are they looking
You
for?
some you have to be at least 5'7", 5'8". for a
Oh,
woman. And for men, you have to be at least like six. I mean, 5'9" or is 6 foot
interesting. Okay.
minimum.
So these are the people that are, because that's not normal heights for both
Mm-mm.
In America. So okay, so they're just looking for the people that literally stand out.
Yes, literally stand out. And that's because, like, with high fashion, they have this. I don't know. I don't honestly. I don't understand, but that's the way it is since the '90s and before then, and they have it structured that way. And of course, it's up to the director or the producer of the show, whatever their vision is. Because I'm not gonna say you can't get paid if you're shorter than the height I just said, but it's rare because it has to be like a special show, like Victoria's Secret. They brought everybody out last year, which was great. But is it going to be like that every year? I don't know. We'll see.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, I didn't know that. Um, okay, can you talk a little bit more about your like virtual classes and how you approach your teaching?
So my virtual classes is for primarily the people that are outside of Dallas area, which I'm stationed in. Um, that is curated to the client's needs. So that's by basis, whether you want to be in the industry, whether you need mentorship and you just need to talk and get advice, things of that nature. I literally cater to the client needs, honestly.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. If you were starting over, starting from 16 when you introduced, how
Really?
what would you do differently?
Use my discernment. I would not be. I wouldn't be so. Ooh, that looks nice. Ooh, that sounds nice. No, I would be okay more on the business side because
Hmm.
knowing the business is very essential. I would say learn the business first before you even hop in it because I've done things for free that I could have been getting paid a lot of money for. And I didn't know at the time because I didn't know the business. I'm like, oh, this was like a great opportunity. Them knowing that I was a freelance model and a new model at that, they took advantage of that. And I wouldn't say took advantage, they just,
Wow.
it's part of the game.
Wow.
Like it's all a game and you got to know how to play it. So in order for you to know how to play it right, you need to know the business side of it.
What, how would somebody, get to learn that business? Because, if you just like somebody approaches you, like that lady approached you,
Mhm.
how do you all of a sudden get to learn the business, or how would you tell people to get that information? What would be the best way to do that now?
So for me, I have branding classes. So you have to brand yourself. And
Hmm.
sometimes the lack of branding or the lack of presence, rather on your social media or your portfolio, the directors and producers or the casting directors can see that you don't have the experience.
Hmm.
So they won't pay you what they could be paying you. They will pay you less because lack of thereof. You know what I'm saying? So if your pictures in your portfolio aren't the best, if you don't invest in yourself to get the highest quality, to get the highest paying jobs, you're gonna be stuck getting either nothing or low budget.
Wow. Um, and then you can kind of get that reputation of, oh, you just do the free projects, you the free model, where
Exactly. And if you work with a lot of different photographers or a lot of different projects that doesn't really align with you and don't
Hmm.
make sense, you're gonna be looked at as, oh, she'll work with anybody. Your value lessens.
Wow.
So you want to kind of be more so exclusive, but in a way where you're still approachable because you don't want to be exclusive to the point where people think you're quote unquote Hollywood
Yeah.
and don't know how to approach you for a gig they may be paying for. So you have to have that balance. They need to know, like, when they see your page, your presence alone, they know they're going to have to pay something at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Hmm.
want them to go on your page and be like, oh, let's collab on everything. Nah.
Right. Nah, not fam.
All right.
From what can directors understand more about models in general, so they're better prepared when hiring models?
Honestly, I think it's the other way around because the casting directors, you're there, they're hiring you. So they're in control. They know the vision. So they're choosing the models that fit their vision.
Mm-hmm.
So the models need to know their vision and how to show up and how to speak and how to be that for them. And
Mm-hmm.
just like in acting, like a lot of people like, oh, I don't get how y'all just pretend to be that or fake that to like you did that so well. Like, no, I became that. Like
Yeah.
that was real life to me. I became that in order
Mm-hmm.
to get that going. So it's same for modeling. You become whatever it is that they're saying. If it aligns with you, if it
Yeah.
doesn't align with you, please decline.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I, I've heard like some actors they mention that sometimes playing a certain role too long, like if they're like the killer or the psychopath or whatever,
Mhm.
and they're kind of stuck in that role, and they need the time to kind of get away from that character for a while because they start thinking like these dark things and stuff like that.
Yes.
I ask that question is because from a director that's on set that's directing actors and everything like that, there
Mhm.
might be some things they may not know, right? From like, what is that person thinking? You know what I mean? Or what are some ways that actually, how could I direct this person to kind of get what I want? Because maybe they're not as warm, but we still need to get through the day and still do that. What are some? I'm trying to
Mhm.
get from the standpoint of how is a model feeling on set? Say it's just like first or second time, their first or second time on set.
Mhm.
What are some things that the director needs to know,
Mhm.
um, how this model is feeling?
Um, that's an interesting question
I
because
say that.
I'm
Go ahead.
used to sets
Mhm.
being as though like the director just directs. So you have to know how to listen. And if you don't understand something, it's up to you to say, I don't understand because you're
Oh.
there working, for them. But I get what you're saying. And I never experienced that. But from my, that comment.
Right? That's Pablo. Pablo, he's
I
been
know
in.
that's right. Don't hate the game, learn the game. Period. Yes,
He's been
she's
his acting
right.
coach said that.
But I get what you're saying, and I feel
Mhm.
like if I was a director dealing with someone that was new and I needed that look and I couldn't find anybody else, patience, patience. If they're not understanding it this way, say it in a way that's more simpler, where that
Yeah.
they may understand. So I
Mhm.
would say patience for sure for new
And
actors and actresses.
I thought about that because I interviewed Arthur Muhammad, and he was the director that was just like, "Hey, we doing a thing, get sad, be happy, or
Hmm.
what, He was just kind of just doing his thing, and he said until he started taking acting classes, he said, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." He was basically saying sorry to all the actors out there because
Hmm.
he was like, "Wow, now I understand what they're going through."
Yes.
And how I might be coming off not understanding their craft,
Hmm.
to communicate in their language. That's why I had brought that one up.
Yeah, I'm used to dealing with the cutthroat drill sergeant directors. Like they
Okay.
come off rude,
Yeah.
and if you don't know them, you might take it that way. But in this industry, you can't take anything personal, and that's what I teach as well. You have to learn how to deal with different personalities because in this industry you're going to be dealing with a lot of different personalities, and if you're I wouldn't say soft in a way, but like if you don't have that backbone, you're not going to
Mhm.
make it far. You're not. You can't take anything personal.
Mhm. That's real. Um, it's it's interesting. So, what have been your experiences from kind of like independent, film production, because that's like its own thing, into let's sets that have a budget, like, okay, we're not just eating pizza today, we have we have crafty, and we have
Yeah.
somebody actually catering. um let's talk about that a little bit.
Independent films, they're like more chill, I would say.
Hmm.
Um, from my experience, they allow you to bring that character out a little bit more than just what the script says. So you can improv a little bit more. You can, with approval, I would say. Don't just go in there and doing stuff.
Right,
But
right.
um it's more lenient a little bit, not as uptight and stressful. Um,
Mhm.
but I would say that can be a bad thing as well, because if they're not professional still, you're gonna be deemed as the person that just worked with unprofessional people. You're gonna be unprofessional at that point, because in the quality you have to think about all of that. So independent films are great as long as they're professional and know what they're doing, versus people with the budget where we're eating like sushi on the side and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It's a lot of hurry up and wait with them too, but they're
Yeah.
more structured. It's like, okay, this time, this time, this time.
Mhm.
And I kind of like that better sometimes, because it's like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know what to expect. Everything is straightforward. Is no there's nothing to worry about, honestly.
Mhm.
No guessing going on.
It's kind of funny because they say on like some of these budgets, is like the food budget is bigger than some of the independent projects whole
Hmm.
budget. So what's been your experience? So um transitioning, how can somebody transition? Because I've noticed the differences, but like how can somebody transition so that while they're in independent mode, they're still acting as if, this is a $20 million project or a $50 million project.
Oh yeah, I would say any project you go on, if it aligns with you and you say yes, give it your all. Like you're about to be winning an Oscar next year, okay? Because that, no matter what type of budget they have, if that part that you're in, that role that you're playing, if you play it well, it's a clip that you can use for your reel to submit to when you want to cast for something bigger, like a Netflix film or things of that nature. You'll have that because you have to start somewhere. You're not just going to go from waking up thinking you want to be an actress to on the big screen. No, you got to go through classes. Then it's the independent films to um, get your experience, and then that's when you'll be ready.
Man, that's so real because I was thinking about that recently, looking at Michael B. Jordan's career and how
Mhm.
he just recently got the Oscar. But I was like,
Yes,
wow, if you go back, it's been 20 plus years he's been working on this.
exactly.
And the paychecks wasn't looking too nice. Some of those paychecks
Mhm.
were real thin. And really, his
Mhm.
paychecks didn't really start looking good till probably the most recent, like maybe 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Um,
And that's what I would tell people. Do not
mhm.
quit your 9 to 5. Do not. Use your 9 to 5. If you have a dream, whether it's a business, whether you want to be in the industry, use your 9 to 5 for the stability of the unstableness that this industry has to offer. When you get that one big check, don't just go quitting your job thinking you made it.
It's a
No.
wrap.
You know
I
what
ain't paying
I'm
taxes or
saying?
nothing.
Because honestly, in the span of 6 months, 2 of those months I made $0. The other months I've made thousands. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Right.
if you're just starting out, please keep your 9 to 5. Use that to stay stable in your bills, your food, your car, all of that. And also invest that into whatever you're deciding to do on the entrepreneur side.
So here's a like kind of I guess it's like kind of like tricky question is
Mhm.
how do you do that, right? If you know that these projects are 12, 15 hours a day, if it's like a film project and it's going to be for like 4 weeks or 2 months or something like that, how do you balance it? What's the tricks? What do we got to do here?
Okay, so it's different levels. It's different levels. Like I know some nurses. I know a nurse that was in a modeling class with me, and when I found out she was a nurse, I was like, "Why you here, girl? Making that bread." But with her, it's more so of a hobby, even though she's getting paid gigs. It's a hobby, so she chooses what fits in her schedule, which is great for her. Now, people that's making not so much, like a server or something like that, and they're really pursuing this career to get them out of that life that they feel like they're stuck in, it is a balance. Sometimes you might have to call off work if this seems like it may take you to that next level. but it's time management as well. And you have to have your own setup, especially if you're in commercial and film. Have your own little setup at home. I don't care if you have a studio apartment. Make one of those walls and put a backdrop and have a camera on a tripod. You can use your phone to do self tapes, because when something comes to your phone and you're like, oh, I need to submit this self tape by tomorrow, you need to already have that setup ready, because
Hmm.
you have to. So it's about time management as well.
Okay. Okay. We're rounding out. We'll be close to an hour in about 4 minutes. But a couple gems before we go. And well, I noticed that like you're really into like branding and marketing and things like that. Can
Mhm.
you like help? I'll say help us out here because we may not when it comes to branding and getting yourself out there, social media, things like that. Getting can you kind of drop some game there?
So I would say it just depends on what market you're trying to reach. Figure out your audience first. Figure out what you want to do and your audience, because then you tailor how you structure things to your audience. So you don't switch up what you want to do. You just tailor it to different audience so people can connect to whatever it is. So if you have something like like say nonprofit, right? You want to reach everyone that can either help or understand what this nonprofit is about. So you will want to first be professional in everything you do. So quality photos, um, and a lot of models. Sorry, I got lost the train of thought.
No
A
worries.
lot of models think you have to post every day. You do not. You do not. Okay, it's quality over quantity. If you post once a month, just make sure that post hit. That's it. That's all
Okay.
you gotta do. Because it'll leave that mystery, like, dang, like she don't be on here like that. She must be busy or she must be working.
Hmm.
Like it's all about the perception.
Right.
So it's not lying, it's how you present it to the people to get what you need.
Okay.
And that's all it really is.
Perception. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Perception and quality, and
So
knowing your audience for sure.
and kind of putting out to the world what you want to attract.
Most definitely.
Okay. Okay. Anybody interested in your classes, where can they follow you? And then also mention like what projects do you have coming up and what you're working on?
Okay, so my Instagram and my social media pages are Ace Diosa at Ace Diosa. That's ACEDIOSA. And also for my confidence coach and confidence training classes, that is Strut by Ace. So STRUTBYACE. And also on my website, it is strutbyace.as.me. So that's open to everyone. And for the people that aren't in Texas or Dallas, I do have virtual options on there as well if y'all interested. But yeah, just check me out. I do a little bit of everything, y'all. So I have two fashion shows, youth fashion shows coming up with
Hmm.
nonprofits. One of them will be April 26th, and that is for um, fighting gun violence against youth. So
Okay.
it's a lot of gun violence that happened in Memphis and things of that nature. And I'm partnering with someone from Memphis. So it
Hmm.
is definitely for a cause. And also, my nephew, he was diagnosed with stage 5 cancer before the age of 4.
Whoa.
So it's just for the youth, for the people,
Hmm.
for community and things of that nature. We have Plano Police coming out to speak. We have Dream Up Foundation coming out to speak. Shout out to them. We have a lot of people in the building for that. And then May 2nd, we have a nonprofit event as well with the Dream Up Foundation. And it's to give back to the less fortunate youth.
Hmm.
And they're also partnering with MAD, which is the drunk driving movement and things of that nature. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff coming up. And in June, I have Feed Fest for the people that like to, have fun. I have that coming up. But yeah, just stay tuned. I do a lot, so it's
Are,
hard
are
to say everything in like 5 seconds.
are these events? Are they like on your website or on your so they can so people can tune in or support?
I post them and promote them on my Instagram. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
And then what you mentioned you're acting. So what projects are you currently acting in, and where can people see
Oh my
where can
gosh,
people see
thank
your
you.
work?
I have
Right.
like a red carpet premiere this Saturday for Willow Drive. I'm the main character, and also I'm filming for two other films right now. So yeah, stay tuned for
Okay.
that. Thank you for reminding me. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I
Absolutely.
forgot.
Do you have like work that people can already see? Like, do you have anything that's already published, or this what's going on there?
So no, like I said, I just got into acting. That was my first like main role, so I'm excited
Nice.
about that.
Okay. Okay.
And the two projects I'm doing now currently on the
Okay.
acting side. Mhm.
Rock and roll. Okay.
Yes.
We're at an hour. Thank you for your time, Ace
Thank you for
Diosa.
having me. You're
Oh, you're
amazing.
welcome. I
I love what
appreciate
you're
that.
doing.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. All right, everybody. Again, if y'all go to grindovermatter.org, you can see everything and all of our programs that we're doing. Please support. And also, we have a school. So SKOOL, virtual,
Oh,
virtual school. So everybody just go to the website and get your information there. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you later.